We're the chamber readers. This is Eden, David, Siena, and I'm Francene. Here's a folk tale from Iran. It's about a young man named Ahmed and his greedy wife Jamel and stolen treasures. 40 Fortunes, a tale from Iran by Shepard. Once in the royal city of Isfahan, there lived a young man named Ahmed, who had a wife named Jamel. He knew no special craft or trade, but he had a shovel and a pick, and as he told his wife,
"If you can dig a hole, you can always earn enough to stay alive."
But that was not enough for Jamel.
One day, as she often did, Jamel went to the public bath to wash in the hot pool and chat with the other women. But at the entrance, the woman in charge told her, "Ha! You can't come in here. The wife of the king's royal diviner is taking the whole place for herself."
Who does she think she is? Protested Jamel. Just because her husband tells fortunes?
But all she could do was return home, fuming all the way. That evening, when Ahmed handed her his wages for the day, she said,
"Look at these few measly coins. I won't put up with this any longer. Tomorrow, you'll sit in the marketplace and be a diviner."
Are you insane? Said Ahmed. What do I know about fortune telling?
"You don't need to know a thing," said Jamel. "When anyone brings you a question, you just throw the dice and mumble something that sounds wise. It's either that, or I go home to the house of my father."
So the next day, Ahmed sold his shovel and his pick, and he bought some dice and a board and the robe of a fortune teller. Then he sat in the marketplace near the public bath. Hardly had he gotten settled when there ran up to him the wife of one of the king's ministers.
"Diviner, you must help me. I wore my most precious ring to the bath today, and now it's missing. Please tell me what it is."
Ahmed gulped and cast the dice. As he desperately searched for something wise to say, he happened to glance up at the lady's sleeve. There he spied a small hole, and showing through the hole a bit of her naked arm. Of course, this was quite improper for a respectable lady, so Ahmed leaned forward and whispered urgently,
"Madam, I see a hole."
"A what?"
A hole.
The lady brightened.
"Of course, a hole!"
She rushed back to the bath and found the hole in the wall where she'd hidden her ring for safekeeping. Then she came back out to Ahmed.
"God be praised," she said. "You knew right where it was."
And to Ahmed's surprise, she gave him a gold coin. That evening, when Jamel saw the coin and heard the story, she said,
"You see? There's nothing to it."
Oh, God was merciful on this day, said Ahmed, but I dare not test him for another.
"Nonsense," said Jamel. "If you want to keep your wife, you'll be back in that marketplace tomorrow."
Now it happened that on that very night at the palace of the king, the royal treasury was robbed. 40 pairs of hands carried away 40 chests of gold and jewels. The theft was reported the next morning to the king.
"Bring me my royal diviner and all his assistants," he commanded.
But though the fortune tellers cast their dice and mumbled quite wisely, "Habba-dabba-dooba-dabba-dee," not one of them could locate the thieves or the treasure.
"Frauds!" cried the king. "Throw them all in prison."
Now the king had heard about the fortune teller who had found the ring of his minister's wife. So he sent 2 guards to the marketplace to bring Ahmed, who appeared trembling before him.
"Diviner," said the king, "my treasury has been robbed of 40 chests. What can you tell me about the thieves?"
Ahmed thought quickly about 40 chests being carried away.
Your Majesty, I can tell you there were, 40 thieves.
"Amazing," said the king. "Well, none of my own diviners knew as much. But now, you must find the thieves and the treasure."
Ahmed felt faint.
I'll do my best, Your Majesty, but it'll take some time.
"How long?" the king demanded.
40 days, Your Majesty.
Said Ahmed, guessing the longest he could get.
1 day for each thief?
A long time indeed, said the king. Very well, you shall have it. If you succeed, I'll make you rich. If you don't, you rot with the others in prison.
Back home, Ahmed told Jamal.
You see the trouble you've caused us? In 40 days, the king will lock me away.
Nonsense, said Jamal. Just find the chests. You found the ring, didn't you?
Oh, I tell you, Jamal, I found nothing. That was only by the grace of God, but this time there's no hope.
Ahmed took some dried dates, counted out 40, and placed them in a jar.
I will eat one of these dates each evening. That'll tell me when my 40 days are done.
Now, it happened that one of the king's own servants was one of the 40 thieves, and he heard the king speak with Ahmed. That same evening, he hurried to the thieves' meeting place and reported to their chief.
There's a diviner who says he will find the treasure and the thieves in 40 days.
He's bluffing, said the chief. But we can't afford to take chances. Change your clothes, then go to his house and find out what you can.
So, the servant climbed up the terrace on the flat roof of Ahmed's house, and he listened down the stairs that led inside.
Just then, Ahmed took the first date from the jar and ate it. No, that's one.
The thief was so shaken he nearly fell down the stairs. He hurried back to the meeting place and told the chief, "The diviner has amazing powers. Without seeing me, he knew I was on the roof. I clearly heard him say, 'That's one.'"
You must have imagined it, said the chief. Tomorrow night, 2 of you will go.
So, the next night, the servant returned to Ahmed's roof with another of the thieves. As they were listening,
Ahmed ate a second date, he said. That's 2.
Ooh, the thieves nearly toppled over each other as they fled the roof and raced back to the chief.
He knew there were 2 of us, said the servant.
Yeah, we heard him say, "That's 2.
It can't be, said the chief. So the night after that, he sent
3 of the thieves.
and the next night,
4.
then
5.
then
6.
And so it went till the 40th night when the chief said, "This time I go with you myself."
so all 40 thieves climbed up to Ahmed's roof to listen.
Inside, Ahmed gazed at the last date in the jar and then sadly took it out and ate it. That's 40! The number's complete!
Ahmed, Jamal said softly, I was wrong to make you be a diviner. You are what you are, and I should have not tried to make you be something else. Can you forgive me?
Oh, I forgive you, Jamal, but the fault is mine as well. I should not have done what I knew, what was not wise. Oh, but none of this can help us now.
Just then a loud bang came at the doors.
King's men already! He went to the door, unbolted it, calling, all right, I know why you're here. He swung the door open, and to his astonishment, he saw 40 men kneeling before him, touching their heads to the ground.
"Of course you know, oh great diviner," said the chief, "and nothing can be hidden from you. We beg you not to give us away."
Bewildered though he was, Ahmed realized that these must be the thieves. He thought fast and then said, very well, I won't turn you in, but you must replace every bit of the treasure.
"Oh, at once, said the chief.
And before the night was through, 40 pairs of hands carried 40 chests of gold and jewels back to the king's treasury. Early the next morning, Ahmed appeared before the king.
Your Majesty, my magic arts can find the treasure or the thieves, but not both. Which do you choose?
The treasure, I suppose, said the king. Though it's a pity not to get the thieves.
Yeah.
The boiling oil is all ready for them. Well, never mind. Tell me where the treasure is, and I'll send my men right away.
No need, Your Majesty.
Ahmed waved his arms in the air and called.
Ish, posh, mish, mosh, wish, wah.
Then he announced.
By my magic, your chests have returned to their place.
The king himself went with Ahmed to the treasury and found it so.
Oh, you are truly the greatest fortune teller of the age, he declared. From this day forth, You shall be my royal diviner.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty, said Ahmed with a bow, but I'm afraid that's impossible. Finding and restoring your treasure was so difficult, it used up all my powers. I shall never be a diviner again.
What a loss, cried the king. Well, then I must double reward you. Here, take 2 of the chests for your own.
So Ahmed returned home to Jamel, safe, rich, and a good deal wiser.
And as any diviner could have foretold, they lived happily ever after.